Hi guys, how are you? Yeah, I have a little luncheon after this. Thank you. I'm just gonna give everybody a minute to join and then we get going. Thank you for joining. We're so close to the holidays, huh? Guys, if you're part of my group, please don't forget that this Sunday we have the very important and last new moon of the year. Okay, so during the new moon, we do our new moon ritual. We'll do a full water ritual. We'll use the bell, and I hope you have your intentions ready because we're gonna do a group exercise. This one, you're gonna have to do it at a certain time because I want to project the whole group power into this. Is it lagging on anyone else's side? Fatima says it's lagging on her side. So I just want to make sure. No lag. Okay, so then it's it's on your end. All right, so for this one, for the new moon coming up this Sunday, please consider fasting at least after lunch. Okay, and then we're gonna have a meditation. I'm gonna say around 8 p.m. or 9 p.m., something like this. I'm gonna put it in the group, but you all have to do it at a certain time, at that time, even if it's not your time zone, because we're all going to connect. This is going to be the most important one of the year. We're gonna project our intentions into next year, and I want everybody to use the bell at the beginning and the end to signal, okay? So that's as much as announcements get done in the beginning of the live. That's what I want you to focus on. Prepare yourself mentally this week for just this new beginning, just this new intention, just coming into December, stepping in, saying, hey, this is what I have for next year. I've done so much work this year. I'm ready. I'm willing. I'm prepared. Here's my list. And here's why I'm ready. So the meditation will be centered around why you're ready. And if you're not ready in certain areas, how to use December to make yourself ready. Always keep your awareness in this work, guys. This is really, really important. And if I had to summarize conscious creation in one word, I would say this: your inner experience can't be related to what's happening around you. So your inner experience, the way you hold your energy, the way you feel inside, the way you wake up and you spiritually put yourself in a good mood, the way you see connection, the way you see goodness, can't have anything to do with what happens at a certain point in time in your outside world, in politics, in your family, in any aspect. This is the key, most important thing in the universe, seeing you as an NPC and seeing you as a player. Okay? A player knows he's a player or she's a player. And in this knowing she's a player, understands that the game can unfold based on different parameters in ways in which maybe the player doesn't want, but the player keeps his goal. Just like in a video game, you keep your goal and your focus to where you want to go. Like things could explode around you in the game, walls come tumbling down, there's enemies coming from everywhere, it doesn't matter. The player keeps playing. Now, if you're constantly distracted by what you see around you, the game will see you as an NPC, as a non-playing character. So the game just unfolds as little energy as possible in maintaining your existence within the game for the other players. You know, you're just an NPC, you're just around, you're just going with the flow. Okay, this thing going with the flow is a very damaging saying. Don't go with the flow. Don't go with your flow in your dating life. Don't go with your flow in your career. Don't go with the flow. Go towards your intention. Okay, going with the flow, you don't know how you're gonna feel tomorrow. You look at the flow and you're like, when I wake up, how do I feel today? I don't know. I haven't gotten to work yet. I haven't opened my email. My husband hasn't greeted me. I don't know if he's in a good mood, if he's in a bad mood, etc. So that's what happens when you go with the flow. Layla says, I went back with my ex and things fell apart again. He was my specific person, but I'm so tired now. Yeah, go through my SP playlist. I told you guys this will happen again and again if you keep manifesting your SP back. If you try to imprison another person's consciousness, it can be done. It's not worth it. You're bringing him back with your energetic system. You're paying for it. It's an exchange of energy, okay? You're paying for his return, but you don't have enough payment, cash, energy, resources in order to keep him. because he doesn't want to be with the person that you are. That's why you broke up. If you want him to be back with you for real, you got to change so that you are the person that someone like him is naturally attracted to. You can't touch Donald Trump. Jesus is on his side. The devil told me exactly that. And he says God is what I saw. What does that have to do with our own personal lives? What does that have? That's not in my mind. That shouldn't be in your mind either. You went, you voted, you move on. If everybody just focused in being a good person every single day and living themselves to a maximum potential, what does that have to do? What does that have to do in who's in charge? It doesn't have anything to do with your life. Relax, contribute, focus on you, focus on growing, focus on this. The world unfolds with the mindless necessity of expressing collective consciousness. Collective consciousness shifts, right? Collective consciousness shifts based on, it's sort of like a pendulum, okay? We're getting deeper into topics that don't have anything to do with your life. But just so you know, when the pendulum swings far here, it will just come down this way. It's always like this. It's always been like this in the history of humanity. And slowly consciousness evolves. The collective consciousness evolves slowly. Yours can evolve faster. How? By focusing on that, okay? By focusing on that. You go, you do what you think is right. You vote. After that, you move on, okay? Let's see. Let's see what we have here. Laughter. Guys, more focus on the work. That's why I show up for you guys. To focus on the work. Something you said yesterday messed with my head about not being able to manifest. Perfect. Let's talk about it. That video didn't do so well, but it was such an important video. Okay, and here's what I said. The top, people ask me this all the time. Simon, I tried, but I think maybe it's just me. I can't manifest. Can't really everybody manifest. And so I wanted to address it. I did a video, and here's how you have to think of it. When you say, can I manifest? That means you don't understand that currently you're manifesting your whole life, right? So the right question is not, can you manifest? The right question is, why have I been manifesting what's around me? So basically, what's in my mind, and how can I now manifest that which I want? So you're in the wrong question there. Who's that? Megan, right? You're already in the question about you not being able to manifest. You're manifesting right now today. Today, you look around you, the person you're with, the career you're in, all of these are the results of permutation and combination of the contents of your subconscious mind. All of this expressed. Now what you want to ask me is not can you manifest, is how can you go in there, see what's in there, see what's creating this, and how can you edit, delete, replace, juggle around with the contents, throw some contents out, put some new stuff in, convince yourself that what you perceived when you were 7 years old was not the correct thing that happened. And tell yourself that like all of this is work, right? It's work, but it's simple. That's what you got to do. So it's not that you're not able to manifest, is that you need time and effort into entering your mind. And ideally you do this via part of a support system. Okay, you can work with our group, you can work with a guru, you can work with, like, be part of a group of people who are going in the same direction. It's easier that way. It's much easier than doing it on your own. When I started this, I didn't have that. There was no social media. Well, maybe there was, but it wasn't like this, right? I started consciously working on this in 2014, and I slipped and I went back and I slipped. It was too much work. I wish I had somebody where I could log on and she keeps me consistent and I show up and I just make a commitment to myself and I do the work and I do weekly meditations and I contribute to others my good thoughts, and I'm constantly in awareness and I'm constantly seeing the world through this magical lens. A few times a day now I'm able to remind myself, like the game catches us, right? It catches us into what's happening right now. Then I'm like, whoa, wait a second. It's so much, like I feel it. I feel like goosebumps sometimes. Does anybody else feel this? When they realize, hang on a second, this is so much bigger than what I thought it was. And I know I'm protected, and I think about you guys, and I think about the group of women that we have, and it brings me joy. You see, I'm invoking an inner engineering of my feelings. I'm not looking around me and being like, what should I be feeling right now? Is any rude person around me? Like, what should I be feeling right now? They don't have a table for me. They make me wait like 20 minutes. What is this? I'm like, oh, I'm waiting here. Let's see what happens. Let's see who's going to talk to me. Let me just notice the atmosphere. Let me just have a sensory experience while I'm waiting. Do you know what I mean? It's a different way of perceiving what's happening. So someone got goosebumps right after doing the daily entry. Yeah, that happens to me all the time. And I invite it. I want it to happen. You know, that's when you feel so alive. Okay, so let me just finish my thought on manifesting, okay? So that's the thing about not being able to manifest. That's the first part. The second part is, if you're trying to manifest something that's completely unaligned with your paradigm, and in my video, I give two examples. Like if I say, I start affirming, I'm an astronaut, I'm a world famous singer, I can't sing, you know, and obviously I'm not at the age where I could develop a singing career anyways, even if I could sing. But let's say, you know, I can't sing, I don't have the background to be an astronaut, but I'm affirming all of these things. Okay, that's so far different from my paradigm that's not going to be damaging to me. It's just a waste of time, right? Because my paradigm hears this and be like, get out of here. Like, it's not penetrating at all. Okay. And this, unfortunately, this happens to people whose paradigm is so strong. When you say you can't manifest, is so strong a certain way that if you go from always having been poor, always having had financial setbacks, always, even when you get money, you lose it, or you can't do it again, you can't attract it again. Okay. And now you're affirming, I have $1 billion company. I'm the next Jeff Bezos, you know, or whatever. It's too far apart. It's too far apart. Your paradigm will not, the steps would be so complex to get you from here to, I'm giving you the honest truth, okay? I'm not giving you Neville's answers. I don't want to call it anything else. Yes, keep imagining, and in 20 years, you're going to own that store. Or, you know, like 20 years, too long. We need stuff now. Okay, so that's one thing. Your affirmation may be so different than your paradigm that your paradigm is not, it's just like you're speaking a different language when you're saying you're a millionaire. It's not listening. Okay. The second, but this is not dangerous. It's just a waste of time. That's people who affirm and they come to me after 12 months. I've been robotically affirming and nothing's happened. Yeah. You're too far apart. The second type is actually dangerous. It's dangerous. Why? It's because you're the person who has the potential to achieve these things, and your paradigm knows that. Okay, so your paradigm, maybe you're lazy, maybe you're a procrastinator, maybe you have been loved once, but ever since then you've been rejected, and now you're affirming, I'm wanted, you know, men like me, and I'm a high income earner, and all of these things you kind of experienced before, like you kind of know what they feel like, but your paradigm has shaped a certain way based on your life experience. So this is like when you make an affirmation and you have doubts. Like in your heart, if you say, I'm earning 200 grand a year, okay? Because most people are relatively realistic, right? You're earning 40 grand a month now. So you're earning 200 grand a year, but there's doubt. Or you've been rejected in your last 5 dates and now you're like, I'm happily married. There's doubt. There's even a good man, but your paradigm knows you're a good woman. But the doubt is like, is there even a good man that could make a good husband for me, you know? When there's that doubt, what your paradigm does, because it feels the threat of this affirmation, it will go like in self-defense, right? Like if you've ever seen a cat attacking another cat and they go like, pfft, and you know, their tail goes big, it will do that. It will do that. And because it amplifies to this threat, what's going to happen is, as it amplifies, it creates more in your 3D reality to affirm itself. So if you're poor, you all of a sudden will lose your job. If you're affirming that, you know, you're not rejected, you'll experience the biggest maybe betrayal of like a close friend, or a rejection that's bigger than what you had so far. All right. So that's when things are possible for you. The affirmation is possible for you, but your paradigm has severe doubts, fear. You'll feel the doubt and the fear as you're making that affirmation. And the solution to that I'm proposing is, I find this has worked well for me, well for a lot of people that I worked with. You need to convince yourself step by step. Like it's not going to happen from one thing, from going to one therapy session, from talking to a coach one time, from doing the meditation one time. No, you got to do it gradually, step by step. You got to commit to yourself. They say it takes between 6 and 18 months to make new neural connections inside your brain, for you to be able to think differently. But that's obviously with daily work. So it will take between 6 and 18 months, I'm talking science, for a physical neural connection to form if you're doing the work. But what you're doing is like what most people are doing. It's like planting that seed and digging it up right after to see has it worked. I've done this affirmations for 2 days now. Has he called me? Is he still with that girl? You're like on Instagram. Okay, the moment you checked, you dug up the seed, right? When you plant a seed, you don't go there. Like, what you got to do every day is water it, right? Like, you want to increase the surety of that thing coming to pass, not check if it's worked yet. You don't need to check ever anything, because when something is working, it will come to you. So you don't need to check it. You know, I'm manifesting him. Is he coming to me? When he's on your doorstep, you know it will work. It had worked. That's how you know, right? That's how I knew. I didn't need to do anything. I didn't to check anything. I put him on block. Okay, so when it shows up, that's when you know it's worked. You don't need to check. You don't need to check if you got the job. When you got the job, they call you. You don't need to check really if you won the lottery. They contact you. Well, if you have a ticket, you got to scan it. But that's about it. When you remember, you scan it. But if you entered one of those things where, you know, you enter a raffle or something, they call you. You don't need to check anything. And don't check who won. If you don't get the call, pretend like, you know, it's just taking more time. Enter it again next year or 6 months later or whatever. It's taking more time. But you don't check, oh, I guess somebody else won it. I guess I didn't win. I'm not a winner. I'm a loser. I'll never win. You know, like your subconscious goes in that mindset. Let's see. I want to stop once in a while to see what you guys are saying. So don't worry about the video in which I say not everybody can manifest practically. What I meant is people put too much of a gap between them and their affirmations, or people have serious doubts and then their life goes the other way. So you got to watch for that. Whatever I do in 3D doesn't matter, so should I only focus on the 5D to manifest it? Whatever you do in 3D matters immensely. Whatever you do in 3D is the instruction that you give to the universe on whether or not you want more of it. So if you want to get married and you have your list of ideal husband, and I told you guys, this technique is from Joe Dispenza. You write the list, then on the back you write, how can I become this person? You're on the way to grow yourself to become that person. If you go to a bar, you're attracted to a man and you take him home. That does matter. That's an instruction in the universe of maybe I no longer want a husband. I don't know. It depends on where your paradigm and what your connection and what that means to you. Maybe you'd be like, between now and my husband, I'll have a little fun. That's an instruction. Okay, if you want a certain job, but you take another route instead, that's also an instruction. If you want $1 million, but you find on the floor note for $1 million, that happened to me, and you keep it, which I did, until I realized the universe had fulfilled my request. Everything you do in 3D matters immensely, just to answer your question. Let's see this is why patterns get so deep with age. Patterns need time to really take a harvest. Yeah, I guess you're saying the 6 to 18 months. Yeah. So the younger you are in this work, the better, obviously, because you haven't ingrained as much, or the loops haven't repeated as many times if you're 20 than if you're 40, right? And but it doesn't mean it can't be done if you're 40. Hold on a second. What nervous system regulation exercises do you suggest to calm down and balance out? So in my group, I suggested certain meditations. I suggested certain channels. And I also do 3D sounds from, and I have an app, it's called Mind Spa. That app is a subscription. I think you have to get it for a year though. It's a bit pricey. I think it's $100 a year, but it works really well. like to balance, just to nervous system balance, right? Because balance is the hemispheres of the brain. But again, don't go get the app, spend $100, and then you're not going to do it. The thing is, like, do you believe you have the commitment to do it? Like, if you're having nervous system problems, ideally you should be doing this twice a day. You know, like this guy, he goes to this is a joke, he goes to a guru, and he's in finance on Wall Street. He goes to India and asks this guru, how long do you think I should meditate every day? And the guru says, you need at least 1 hour of meditation every day. The guy says, no, you don't understand. I'm on Wall Street. I come home, I have my kids, I have my wife. I don't have an hour to meditate. And the guru says, well, in that case, you need 3 hours. Right? The more your nervous system is out of balance, the more you need to go the other way, right? Is that pendulum we're talking about? Let's see. I just want to see if I missed anything. I wanted a job at the test site, got hired 2 weeks ago. Going through background check now. What test site are you talking about? I'm assuming you got the job that you wanted, but maybe I'm missing part of the story. Congratulations anyways. I feel like when people get a lot of signs, they need to remember to persist and be specific. Yeah, depends what you mean by signs. And depends if you're interpreting those signs correctly. Because you're interpreting signs based on your paradigm, right? Like signs, guys, signs have to be extremely serendipitous to be interpreted. Like it can't be something like 1111 or what people consider signs, 888, or Chinese fortune cookie, tarot card. You always pull the same tarot card. It can't be any of that. That's too rooted in collective consciousness. Signs have to be very serendipitous. And they have to be incoming, more so than you're looking for them. Incoming. That email that you're like, I never open an email from this company, but this time I will. It has to be a flash of like a thought in your mind of calling somebody you haven't talked to in a long time, or reaching out on LinkedIn to some business contact. It has to be like very, very something that's not typical for you. Right? Because the idea is you're changing you such that the new you attracts new possibility. So nothing that comes from the old you is an okay sign. A sign that you were reading 5 years ago the same way should not mean the same thing today. To persist, be more specific. Let's see. I was manifesting SP and kept seeing his name only, until I was like, I'm manifesting our relationship, not just his name. Yeah, because the universe is very literal. Oh my God. There was this video and I took a screenshot I put a comment on it. It was on my feed. It came on my feed, and you know, like you have to engage with the algorithm for the algorithm. So when the video is interesting, I will leave a comment. Let me just go to my albums, what I saved for you guys. Okay, so in this video, okay, this woman is telling a story or her mentor is telling her a story of another woman that he coached. And she said every morning for 6 months, she wrote, I will marry rich. A rich man. Yeah, exactly. The rich man. I'll marry rich. I'll marry rich. And then, 6 months later, she meets a guy whose name is Rich, and she's like engaged to him. She tells her mentor. And then I put a comment, and somebody else commented an even crazier story. So I put a comment. I envisioned a specific wedding ring on my finger, found it in the parking lot. That exact ring's 3-size studded Tiffany wedding band. All right. So I put this as a comment to this because literal manifestation. And somebody else puts this comment under my comment. Something similar happened to me. I put 5 different diamond engagement rings on my vision board, 5 different ones that she liked. 2 years later, I inherited 5 diamond rings and no engagement. I thought this was like, this takes the cake. It's like, but you see, the universe always answers, but not everybody is able to make the connection between the answer and their ask. Because if you're able to make the connection between the answer and the ask, then you're able to fine tune your ask to match the connection. So when I found that ring, I wouldn't have made the connection that that's my manifestation, the universe is done finding me a ring. Like the universe has already fulfilled that. But then I was like, okay, this is in response. What can I do? You know, like it's not the ring, right? Because it's not, a relationship is not about the ring. It's not about, I will marry you rich, and then you marry the guy named Rich. It's not. Be very, very careful on how you formulate. And that's why the way I teach it is you got to focus on your daily life and daily feeling in your daily life, right? Because a husband is an active participant in your daily life. It's not the ring. It's not the house. It's you living in the house. It's you living with him. So if I say I'll marry a wealthy, caring, and generous man, it would be better. I guess it would be better than saying I'll marry rich. But if you can't invoke all of this inside of you and go to like what your life would look like with this person, not just in terms of his wealth, okay, not just in terms. So what may happen if you're really focused on wealth and really good at generating this, you see yourself, oh, he bought me a BMW. The BMW may come to you without the husband. Do you know what I mean? Like it just depends what your personal thread of energy throws out there more. Or if and which type of manifester you are and all of this. But this is a game of fine tuning. And I'm going to tell you something. Even if you don't get specifically what you want, in this process you become better. So how can you not want to do it? How can anybody not want to do it and be like, this is too complicated, I'll just go with the flow? Guys, the flow is dangerous. I'm scared of the flow. The flow is not going in the right direction. I'm like, every day I have to organize my mind. Hang on a second. Where am I at in relationship with me? Where is my inner feeling? Where is, do you know what I mean? Like, where is like, and it doesn't matter if I get, you know, the Lamborghini, which I don't even want, but it doesn't really matter if I get that, because every day I'm getting better. You know, every day I'm getting better. It shows in my interactions with the others. It shows in how I treat myself. It shows in how I speak. If every day I'm getting better, it's a win. If I go with the flow, hang on a second. That's not good. Let's see what else I have here for you guys. Somebody asked, is it better to manifest in ways that are already easy based on childhood beliefs, i.e. money is easily given one, but you want to earn that and feel accomplished? And I tell you, this is a good question, because it is always easier to go with your existing paradigms and see how you can match your desire to your existing paradigms than it is to change your existing paradigms. So if this person comes from a family where money easily came to them, but it wasn't earned necessarily, but they were always lucky, that's what he means, they were always lucky with money, it's easier to think that you're lucky with money and attract it that way. If you come from a family, I felt money is very hard to get, we're unlucky with money, we always have to count money, but you're smart and you know you got to focus on working, then manifesting earning a high income, it's easier for your paradigm. It's all about fine-tuning. And of course there's some limiting beliefs inside us that are very damaging, that we can't work around that they have to go. They have to go. There is some paradigms, when combined together, you will never get your manifestation. I gave you guys that example of, I had a client who booked a session with me to talk about manifesting marriage. She was a black woman and she started a call with, I would only marry a black man. But as you know, Mona, there aren't any good ones left. There aren't any good ones left. So I'm like, oh, it's gonna be a big problem. There's two paradigms here. One of them has to go, because together they're like this. So, you know, you gotta examine all your limiting beliefs, and you have to be like, are some combination of this completely preventing me from getting what I want? Any combination of this. A lot of what I'm trying to manifest is showing up to other people around me. What am I doing wrong? Nothing. You're manifesting for them. You're not doing anything wrong. You have chords with them. You have chords with them, and we're all one, Queen. If we're all one, this is further proof. This should excite you. This is further proof that we are one. Yeah, we're one. And so your manifestation may easily, guys, if you want your manifestations to come to you, because remember, when you're doing this work, you're projecting out there. Where out there? In the formless, we're all connected with this ether. We don't have a word for it in modern science. It used to be called ether scientifically before the modern science, like not that long ago, like in the 1800s, maybe even in the early 1900s, before they got rid of this. So when you're projecting it, you're not keeping it inside. You have to project it, because otherwise it's not going to come true. But if other people are very close to your energy field, including your ex, it doesn't have to be people you love, they can easily go to them. So, you know, let's see what else I had for you guys. Somebody says, I used to manifest money last year, but this year it's not working. Tried all cleansing and money blockage rituals. It's not working. But before, I could manifest money. Okay, so when you're in that situation, what you need to understand is that if you haven't, when you focus on a specific thing, you're not really focusing on self-growth. It's like attracting the SP and then he always leaves via the methods that we discussed, because you haven't made a change in you and you're not really envisioning the right thing. So I told you, these things can work sometimes like spells. So you can manifest money for a while if you keep your focus and your obsession about it. You'll collapse it in your reality. But that's not the same thing as producing a life of abundance, because you haven't really changed your point of vibration to be an abundant person, right? So what happens is, this is why the majority of the lottery winners who are poor people, because poor people play the lottery, including myself, right? Like I'm saying, they're not multimillionaires already. So those people lose their money because their point of vibration is around money. Like that's it. It's the obsession. So they get the money and then they lose it. You get the SP and then you lose them. You can't sustain anything from a vibration of staying the way you are today. You got to understand, if you're in love with yourself today, the person you are today, you don't want to change her. The person you are today can only have the things you have today. That's it. It's very simple. If you're happy with your life, don't change anything. But understand that if you don't focus on growth and self-growth, you're eventually going to go the other way. That's why relationships get worse and worse with time. That's why our bodies get worse and worse with time. That's why our mental focus, sharpness gets worse and worse with time, because people are happy with what they have today and they're become complacent or happy or satisfied. They become complacent and they think, I signed that piece of paper, so now I'm married forever. No, if you don't take a temperature check of your relationship every single day, you might not be married forever, right? You're not married because you signed a piece of paper. Oh, women don't have any loyalty anymore and men don't have loyalty. It's not that. It's not that. You lack awareness. You lack not only emotional intelligence, but awareness of where, like, I am here. I don't know where my husband is in his mind, but I know where I am and I know where the relationship is. And if something's off, I need to address it right away. Or I need to take steps towards it. How can you keep positive on a daily basis when your child of 13 doesn't want to talk or see you? So, I mean, sometimes it's like that. I know. I was divorced myself before I got remarried. My child, that didn't happen with my child, but I know a lot of other women in this situation, and 13 is very young. So I'm going to give you some advice. I have a friend for whom this happened when the child was maybe 17. They always come back. They just lack the maturity and they're influenced by other things right now. They always come back. Her son came back to her after 6 years. 6 years, okay? But they eventually come back. You can't do anything about it, okay? Because remember, everybody has their own path and they have to reach that path more or less consciously. And along the way, they're influenced by a lot of things and a lot of people. So the moment you lose the reins on the influence that you have over your child, you have no control of who's going to influence them. You can just pray. Yeah, his manipulation by the dad. That was the case of the friend of mine, right? The dad was a narcissist. You're saying the mom broke up the family, etc. You really can't do anything except wish them well in your mind. Hold them in your energy space. They will come back, right? But again, focus on self and develop yourself. You can't stay the same person who resents his dad or her dad. You can't stay. You gotta, in a sense, I know this is terrible to say, but in a sense, you gotta move on. And I'm saying that as a mom. Like, if my daughter wanted nothing to do with me today, I know I've done everything possible. Knock on wood, this should ever happen. I would let her, as long as I know that she's safe, right? She's safe. She says, Mom, I'm out of here. I'm going to live with Dad. I'd let her. I promise you I would. I know this is a terrible thing to say, and but she will come back, or he will come back. He will. You just gotta let them go through their own lives. I know as moms, we feel like our kids are part of us and they should have more or less the same trajectory as us. But let me tell you something. They're part of their mother's energetic system, and this is in both Western and Eastern traditions, until the age of 7 or 8. That's it. There's that set time, 7 or 8, and now it's backed by science as to how the child brains develop. By the time they're 8 years old, they're no longer within your energy system. And so 13, I know we're saying like it's a low age, 13, but really in terms of the energetic system, this person is affirming more and more. They're probably 90% the energy system that they're going to have by 13, 14 years old. And then the other 10% depending what happens in their teenage years. I'm hoping he'll come back to you sooner rather than later. But work on yourself meanwhile. Let's see what else I wanted to say here. Sorry, my phone closed. So where was I with this money? Yeah, sorry, I didn't finish this thought. I used to manifest money last year, but it's not working. So I told you guys it's probably because you didn't change. Now, there was a second part of this I wanted to talk to you about. If you're able to manifest a specific thing, like let's say SP or money or a car or a job, but then you kind of lost your ability to do that. See what she says here in the next part. Tried all cleansing, money, blockage, rituals. It's not working. So what you're telling your subconscious now is that the first time you manifested wasn't really you doing it, because how could you have all this money blockages and rituals for the money blockages if you actually manifested in the past? So you're in a conflict already here. Okay? You're in a conflict already, because if I manifested and I'm taking credit for having brought forth that specific result, how can I not think, oh no, but I actually have these blockages and stuff? That means either that happened coincidentally, or that means that happened like a spell. And now, because it happened like a spell, I'm paying the consequences, more is taken from me. See, what happens really is your paradigm will always balance your reality, okay? Your paradigm will balance whatever you're able to achieve via spell-like work with the opposite of that. Eventually, it won't happen like for this queen. 1 year, she manifested a lot of money, she was focused on it, and now it's not working, okay? So your paradigm stays the same. And so the money that you made has to somehow be balanced with your incoming, because you are the type of person that makes X amount of money. This is where your current identity is. So if you're the kind of person who made 50,000 a year, this year you may make 100,000, but that will need to be balanced out next year. Next year you'll make 25, more or less, because you are the type of person who makes 50,000. And if you want to make more, you can't focus on the amount. You can't focus on the money. You can't focus on the blockages. You can't focus on any of the stuff. You only focus as to what contribution can you offer in order to get there. Thank you guys. Thank you so much for sending me all the stuff. Like I told you, I never know how to access any of these balances. So I think it's like I have like $35 in a year and a half in this roses and stuff. But I'm not giving TikTok my bank account for $35. When I get to 3,000, I'll think about it. That's 100x. So it will take me another 100 years. From TikTok. They come from other sources. Okay. But thank you so much. I appreciate that you appreciate it. All right. I'm so confident and detached from negativity, but I'd love to feel more worth it. How can I do that? Yeah, and this is a good point. Just because you're detached from negativity doesn't mean you have a high self-worth. Some people just shut down in the world. Some people feel so powerless in the world. They just turn the world off. They don't watch anything. But they don't grow. They don't have goals. They don't do anything. They just vegetate. So I want you to think about it. I want you to think if this is sort of if this is where you're at, you've become an NPC, okay? You're no longer important to the game. So I'm not saying that's you for the person that asked the question. I'm saying check yourself, everybody, check yourself. Like I speak in general terms here. Check yourself for this. Have you turned off the world because you felt powerless to change it and now you've become a vegetable? Have you turned off your dating because you don't feel anyone is worthy of your presence? And now you're just sitting at home watching TV. This is not a full life. When you see anything in this nature, what does anything in this nature strives to be? I want somebody to answer this, please. When you see a tree, when you see anything that's alive in nature, what is that thing striving for? Evolve. It doesn't really strive to evolve because a tree will always be a tree. Everything that's natural and that goes with this world strives for its full expression. Okay? So an apple tree strives to make as many apples. Like there's a fight in the earth for how deep do I need to put my roots in order to draw enough life force from this earth to produce as many trees as many apples as possible. Everything in this nature is programmed this way. And humans are the only thing in nature that has the conscious option to not do that, to shut themselves down, to be like, I don't want to do anything. Okay, and I understand it's the system, we're depressed, we feel powerless. It's designed to make you feel that way. And what you do is you turn off. You're like, forget it. I'm not going to participate. I'm not going to participate at all. So now I'm just going to not care about anything, not care about my job, so you're just vegetating, right? It's like you turned your expression off. You're not operating at your full potential. You're not helping anyone. You're not hurting anyone. You're just vegetating. You're vegetable for the system. So the universe withdraws the energy that it needs to pour into you. It just withdraws it. Why should you be given energy? These people become lethargic, right? They become, you can see it in their eyes. Their eyes become kind of dead. They're just functioning, but they're not living in their full expression. Never wish for that. That is like dying before you're dead. Right? If everything in nature strives to be its best, so should you. You should start by smiling at everyone. Smile even when you don't feel like it. Smile, give something to the person who's in front of you. Give something to an animal. Feed a homeless animal. Just give something small. Give $5 to a beggar. Give of your time, of your energy. Take the time to put a comment on someone's video, complimenting them. Say a nice word. And so slowly increase that contribution, and the system will take notice of you. You're not going to be able to manifest, okay, anything without energy. And the system will not give you energy if you don't participate. By the way, nobody in this life will be able to do without pain. Nobody, okay? Consciousness evolves through love and pain. Everybody has to have their share of painful experiences and hopefully loving experiences and happy experiences. But in your perception, if when you're suffering, you're feeling like, oh my God, nothing's working for me, God doesn't love me, I'm being punished, guilt, shame, all of that, you go, that is self-made. Okay, if somebody broke your heart, in that feeling of heartbreak, of you crying, there's beauty, there's evolution. I know it sounds crazy to look at it this way, but there's sort of should be in you this enjoyment of experience that you are returning into the universe. This is what it feels to be human. This is what it feels to love and the loss of that love. And I'm so blessed for having felt that. I felt that too a few times in my life. You know, to tell you the truth, I don't wish that I didn't love and I didn't feel. There's no way you could be a normal person and wish that never happened. No, you'd be like, it's temporary, but it's just like, oh my God, I feel so much. I feel, You know, I feel enough to have a physical reaction, to cry, it's beautiful. Look at it that way, and you can never fail. I mean, you'll fall down, but you'll get up and you won't be scared to do it again. But what has to get better is your analytical skills. Heart and mind connection, right? If you're repeating the same mistake, I'm talking mistake, you knew the guy was a red flag, you knew blah, 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 you knew he was kind of the same as the previous guy, you went for it anyways, that's on you. That's not necessary pain. That one's on you, okay? Any loops, psychological, emotional, energetic loops that you're in, compulsiveness, any of this that's in you is on you. It's on you. It's waiting for you to identify it and override it. See, the mind doesn't have a brake. Guys, it's like driving a car, okay? Imagine driving a car with only the gas pedal. The other pedal is not there. The other pedal is not there. So if the other pedal is not there, you gotta keep very steady on the wheel, okay? Because all you can give it is gas. It's gas. You gotta be steady on the wheel so you can change direction. So you're like, I don't like going this way. I'm gonna turn around. There's no brake. There's no brake. You can't give your mind a break. I always find myself feeling bad and helping people who are obsessed with me, but not the opposite, okay? Guilt and shame. Find out the sources of your guilt and shame. What does another person's feeling have to do with you? Somebody's obsessed with me. What does it have to do with me? What in me makes me feel bad for them? Like, what does their life have to do with me and their feelings and their obsessions? Right? Miss Queen says, I just got to find the energy for myself to go out and socialize. Yeah, you don't have the energy because you're vegetating right now. I told you. I told you guys. Guys, if you're part of my group, I just want to let you know again. So the new moon, December 1st, we only have one ritual in the group. We do the new moon meditation, like do something new every new moon. December 1st is Sunday. Prepare to fast, at least after lunch. I'm going to try to do it all day. Last time it was really hard for the all day, but I plan to do it. If not, I will just have breakfast. The 60-day challenge, if you're on a break from it, let's all start it January 1st. I'm just finishing up my round now. It will be finished like middle of December, and I'm gonna do something new as of December 1st. So if you want to start it with me, my next one is January 1st. There's a questionnaire in my bio that I think everybody should do. It's worth like 1 hour of coaching with any coach, in my opinion. They're really well formulated questions that will make you ponder on why you're at where you're at, if you know how to interpret everything. Okay, somebody asked me what is my take on dreams, and I want to quickly talk about dreams. Dreams are very important in my work, very important in our group. What dreams are is really the contents of our subconscious, and the contents of, because it's not the traumas we know so many times, it's the traumas we don't know. So your subconscious is constantly trying to communicate with you once you give it an instruction, why it can't execute on that instruction. And the way it will communicate with you many times will be through your dreams. That's just one way of communication, but it's not the only way. But dreams are important. You have to do everything possible to dream and to remember your dream and to understand your dream. So there's physical things you can do, such as not eating at least 4 hours before bed, at least. But 5 to 6 would be ideal, right? So do not eat, because digestion is the biggest energy robber of the body. You can't be digesting if you want to dream, if you want input. And you can't just not eat 4 hours before sleep one day. You have to make this your constant practice of not eating before you go to sleep. Not eating within 4 to 5 hours before you go to sleep. And maybe after a week of doing that, you'll start having dreams. Another thing you can do is you wake up. The moment you wake up, you think about your dream. Like, sometimes I stay within, like, because if I wake up, I'll forget. I dream every night. But if I wake up and just do something, I'll forget. So I stay there awake, and I'm like playing the dream back like it's a movie. I'm trying to remember, okay, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened. And I don't put an interpretation on it. I want to remember everything, and then, I'll write it down or something, but I just want to remember. So your first focus in the morning should be on remembering what you dreamt. Then once you remember what you dreamt, maybe, you get your kids ready for school, whatever. When you come back to it, it's like, how can I associate what I dreamt with what I was thinking about, with what I'm trying to manifest? How can this be something related to that? Especially if you have repeating dreams. Yeah, repeating dreams mean a lot. It means the subconscious is saying, until you fix this, it's still here. Hey, by the way, it's still here. It's still, until you fix this, you can't go any further. This is it. That's why it's being like, hey, pay attention to this. Every 2-3 months you have the same dream. It's something in there needs to be resolved that you haven't resolved. Let's see. Do you guys have any questions on dreams? Has your dream improved since you've done either work on yourself or work with a group? Let's see. What do you think of intermittent fasting and 18 hours a day? It's the best. For those who can do it, it's the best. That intermittent fasting means you can eat pretty much anything, but only within, let's say, 6 hours. And some people do it 4 hours. So you only eat like 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. You got to finish your last meal by 6 p.m. The 6 hours, and 18 hours you don't eat. And even if you eat anything you want within that time frame, you will lose weight, and you'll be, because like I told you guys, digesting all the time is very unnatural to humans. Very unnatural. People never lived this way. People never snacked. People, not even 150 years ago, not even then. And only the very rich, right? Let's say in Europe, the queens and kings ate 3 meals a day. Generally, people ate maximum 2 meals a day. And in our hunter-gatherer times, they ate 1 meal a day. And it was a huge meal. Usually you ate a lot when you catch a prey. The rest was just, some berries from the trees or whatever you were foraging. That's what our bodies are adapted to. That's how, let's say, the native tribes were in living in communion with natures. Tribes from anywhere, any part of the world. They weren't sitting down for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's not like that. How can you focus on getting better? You have to have a practice of discipline every single day. Something that you do every single day, you do differently than what you do now. In addition to your contribution in the world has to change. If today you haven't at least smiled at somebody, if you haven't given something of yourself to people, you're not doing good enough. You have stuff in you to give. You're put in this earth to give. The universe returns to you. You don't have to focus on receiving anything. The universe will automatically return to you when you're on your right path and you're executing on your contribution. Until then, you're a non-playing character. Let me be very clear on this. I do intermittent fasting. It really helps so much with mind stability, energy levels. Yeah, I've had a lot of social engagements lately, but I do it too. I do 16 hours. 18 hours is a bit hard for me, but 16 hours is kind of like my lifestyle. But if you want to lose weight, guys, 18 to 20 hours. And go nuts in those 4 hours that you're eating. But I promise you it's going to work. Big thank you from Portugal. Hey! I've been to Portugal once. Lisbon and Algarve. Like in the south. Very nice country. I'm going to Spain next year. We just booked it. Somebody does 1 meal a day. Hey, I couldn't do that, but love my nail polish and lippy. So what I do is I put gel nails on my nails 8 months a year. And then 4 months, I give my nails a break so I can grow the whole nail bed. So these are like my actual nails. So this is manicure I do myself. Anything you do like that for your body. I also took my lashes off, and now it's just like I put castor oil every single night, and they've grown quite a bit. This is just mascara. You guys, whatever you do, come back to yourself once in a while and reset. Okay, let's say you ate a lot of sweets. I love eating sweets during the holiday. Come back and reset. You get your nails done. Come back and rediscover the naturals. Whatever you do, you bleach your hair, just always come back to your natural, because otherwise what happens is you live in this like fantasy land. You know how everything becomes fake, and even the fake doesn't look good anymore. Okay, it's like you put all these lashes, you spend all this money, and you still kind of like, after a while you get used to it. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Like as a woman, you get used to it. You're like, this is still like, there's a day, first when you put them on, you're like, my God, I look so good. And then 2 months later, it's like, you're so used to it. You're like, what else should I be doing for myself? So you get into this loop of the world. That's why it's always important to come back to your natural self once in a while. I'm a beauty therapist and lost interest, but I will start dressing up again. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay to have a cycle. It's okay. And I put, nail oil on my nails while I do the 4 months of the nail bed growing. So just, these are also instructions in 5D, right? It's an instruction of, I love myself. I'm not hiding. I love myself. Okay. Sometimes I do it for fun. I put nails, I put this, but no, who I am, I'm taken care of. This is my temple, and so from this attitude that you're taking care of yourself, you're not just trying to mask it. Like, let's make it so different than it is. You're not trying to mask it. Right. And from this, you also, like, yourself will be like, hang on a second. I'm not going to let this person touch me for what? This person has to earn, like, this is my temple, guys. This is like, it's important. It's so important. I'm not gonna put gummies in my stomach because my stomach is important, right? Keep telling yourself that you're important. And by the way, if you haven't started this work, or if you're asking how to start with the body. Start exactly the way I'm telling you. Start with acknowledging that you're important, but then take action to show yourself that you are important. You should be your biggest provider, protector. When I say, look for men who's a provider, protector, and prioritizer, you got to do that for yourself first. See, if you think about it, when Joe Dispenza gave that idea, okay, do this list of what you want in a man, on the back right, how can I become this person? It's the same thing. You're looking for a provider, protector, prioritizer. Well, that means you have to do it for yourself first. You have to be that person for yourself. Let's see if I think, do you guys have any more questions? How do you find excitement and joy again? Listen, this is the right time to reset, right? Because it's the end of the year. So in the collective consciousness, the end of the year, beginning of the new year is always the time to reset. Here's what people do. They get excited, they reset in January, and then they stop. Make a commitment to yourself that you won't stop. Don't look for short-term solutions. They never help anything. They don't help in love. They don't help in anything. That short-term solution, let's lie on my job resume, get the job. But then you still have to deal with the job versus improving yourself. You take the long road, and I promise you, you'll have to work less and less. As you take the long road and you do this work on yourself, you will see how the universe starts returning to you naturally. How you start getting phone calls and things like, oh yeah, and you're like, shit, that's exactly what I wanted. And this was given to me. That's exactly what I was thinking of. And I was thinking of eating a watermelon. Okay. And I love watermelons, and obviously it's winter pretty much here. I was thinking of eating a watermelon, and I kid you not, unless I buy watermelon, because I'm the only person that eats watermelon, it's not there. So I went home, and there was a half a watermelon or 1/4 watermelon in my fridge. And my husband bought it, obviously, when he went shopping, but he never buys watermelon, And I was like, when I saw that, but it was like a deep desire in me before I saw it. I was like, even in religion, they tell you this, but this is how it should work. It knows what you want before you even want it. Did you guys, any religious people here know? God knows what you want and need before you even want it and need it. This is the flow of life. This is how life will unfold in the small things. Before you even it will just be there. I'm humbled. If you guys have this experience, okay, just know that this is normal. It's important. I tell my group all the time, when this happens to you, normalize. Yeah, that's how it's in religion. Before you even call, he has answered. But this, people take this to be like this big things. I gotta wait for this. No, it's supposed to flow like this with the most insignificant things. with the most insignificant things, right? It's like your instruction, it's already given. It's beautiful. I told you guys, you cannot manifest if you don't believe in God. That's my personal interpretation of this law. By believe in God, what do I mean believe in God? I don't mean like being a Christian or being a Muslim. I mean like, if you don't believe there's a creator of this world, you can't manifest anything, right? Because how would this world work if you're just born from, I don't know, some agitation of atoms and an amoeba? You can't, like, it doesn't fit with the model that you could create your reality or get better in any way. So you got to understand that there's a creator, and this is a highly complex and intelligent game that responds to you. If you don't have this base idea as a fundamental in your mind, don't bother doing this work, because how can it work otherwise? Ari says, I manifested big physical energy with your methods, but it reverted. How do I keep the energy consistent? I mean, this is too much of a personal question to be able to interpret here. Depends what you mean by big physical energy, when it came, in response to what it came, how you addressed it, how you collected, what you did with that energy. Energy comes to you for contribution. Okay? What have you done? What you do with this energy that comes to you is important. Hold on, I gotta put like a click here. So what you do with this energy that you get is important. If you don't do anything with it, you won't be given anymore. If you don't live in awareness, you're not gonna be given anymore. Okay, I think we're coming to an end here. We're having a group coaching session in my Facebook group. So if you're a member of my Facebook group, a thread has been created for you to leave your question. I know not everybody can participate, but honestly, like, my lives are watched by 75% of the group, so that's good, even though we only have like 15-20 people on the call, because people leave their question in advance and they can watch it whenever they want. But I take people's like more personal question. Here we have to go more general for the regular audience. Okay, so the thread is there. I'll see you Saturday at 1 p.m. If you're part of my group, prepare yourself mentally for the last new moon meditation, which will be on December 1st. Hands together for the 369. I am a winner. 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 I am a winner.